Hello Jr4, let's continue talking about concept 2 and theme 3 about fuel. Now let's start talking how the fuel or the coal is formed. The coal is formed 300 million years ago. Large areas of earth were covered with swamps. Swamps, it's a place that has water and with a lot of plants growing nearby. After that, so this picture is 300 million years ago, this picture. After that, when those plants died, their remains were decomposed. Decomposed means separated. Decomposed means separated or decayed. So, like you took it. So these remains are decomposed and covered by hundreds of meters of mud and rocks. So they are buried under hundreds of meters and covered with mud and rocks here. And these are the remains of the plants. After a long time, due to the effect of extreme heat and pressure, those remains were turned into coal. So by heat and the pressure, those remains will turn to coal. This is how the coal is formed. The same for the formation of oil and natural gas. But here the coal, you have to remember that the coal is formed from old dead trees or plants that lives in swamps. But the oil here is formed from aquatic plants, aquatic or marine organisms. Aquatic or marine organisms means sea animals or sea organisms, the living organisms that live in the sea. So aquatic plants means marine and animals, marine or sea plants and elements. When they die, they are buried on the ocean floor by layers of sand. They are buried by layers of sand and layers of sediments. Sediment, they are the small tiny rocks. Sediments like this, the small tiny rocks. This is the same size of the sediment. Okay? So, the decomposed part of these living organisms, they are decomposed and buried under sand and sediment for a very long time. After that, exposing these remains for extreme heat and pressure. Now the oil is formed, deposit, and we can drill and dig to get them. In page 27, we have here a comparison between oil and water. Both of them, they are energy resources. They give us energy. But what is the difference between them? Of course, both the oil and water, they have different structures. But there's something else. The oil as a source of energy, is it renewable or non-renewable energy resource? Yes, the oil is non-renewable energy resource. It takes a lot of millions of years to be formed. While the water, it's renewable energy resource. Takes short time to be replaced. So this means that which one should be conserved, oil or water? Which one will run out easily? Oil, of course, so we should conserve oil. We have to reduce riding our private vehicles. Instead of this, we could ride the public means of transport, like the buses. But what about the water? It's a renewable energy resource. It will not run out easily, but this means that we shouldn't conserve them. No, we have to conserve. Remember, conservation means keeping safe or being aware while using them. So people should use water carefully and rationalize. Rationalize means being aware while using these things or decrease using these things. How do we rationalize using the water? Of course, avoid wasting or polluting water. because we may not be able to replace it quickly as we need. And also growing plants that don't need large amount of water for irrigation. Now let's talk about the fossil fuel. Remind me, fossil fuel, is it renewable energy resource or non-renewable energy resource? Fossil fuel like coal, oil, and natural gas. So of course they are non-renewable energy resources. So of course we use them. We use the gasoline and natural gas to operate our cars, and we use the three: oil, coal, and natural gas to generate electricity. Now we will study how fossil fuel can be used to generate electricity, which is used to light homes. We are going to talk in details how the electricity is produced from fossil fuel at the electric power stations or the power plants, as they call them. Here, as you can see, number one, we will take the fuel, the fossil fuel, like the coal or oil or natural gas, burn them. If we are going to burn them, what's the energy that will produce from burning the coal? Try to remember from the old or from the previous concept. Burning something produces which energy? Yes, excellent, thermal energy. They will take this thermal energy and heat up water, producing steam. So number two, steam rises. Here, number one, fuel burns. Number two, steam rises. This steam will go inside tubes, will move inside tubes, and is used to operate device called turbines. Turbines, they are devices like a fan. They are going to move by the help of the steam. So the steam turn on or operate the turbine to move. So these turbines, when they move, they have which energy when they are moving? Which energy? Excellent, kinetic energy. Here, these turbines, while moving, they have kinetic energy. Now the turbine generates the electrical generator or turn on the generator that will produce electrical energy. The generator now is turned on and converts the kinetic energy into electrical energy. Now this electrical energy is transferred through cables, wires to homes to operate different devices. So again, fuel burns, producing thermal energy. Steam rises from heating water. Steam turns turbines, moving and producing kinetic energy. Turbines turn generators, change the kinetic energy into electrical energy. Electrical energy now is transferred to our homes to light up our device or turn on our devices. So we talked about producing or generating electricity from non-renewable resources, the fossil fuels such as natural gas, oil, and coal. Can't we produce electrical energy from renewable energy resources? Renewable energy resources like what? Solar energy. Excellent, solar energy. Wind energy. You're remembering wind energy. And also water energy. Okay? The solar energy, we can change it into electrical energy. The wind energy, it has the movement, the wind causes the movement of the windmills. Do you know the windmills? They are something like that. You may see it while traveling on the roads. These windmills, the wind causes their movement, so they have kinetic energy. From this kinetic energy, we can produce electrical energy. Also the water, here in the waterfalls and the dam. You know the dam, like the high dam in Aswan. They use it because the water now has kinetic energy and now can generate electrical energy. But the electrical energy produced from water, we call it hydroelectrical energy. Hydroelectrical energy. We call the energy produced from water movement, we call it hydroelectrical energy. We call the electrical energy produced from the waterfalls or the dam, we call it hydroelectrical energy or hydroelectric energy. Hydro means water. Hydro means what? Water. So the renewable energy resources to produce electricity is hydroelectric energy, wind energy, or maybe solar energy. But if we are producing electricity from renewable energy resources that will not run out easily, this means that we shouldn't be aware while using the electricity. We shouldn't conserve the electricity. Of course not. Whatever the resource, renewable or non-renewable, we should conserve the energy. We should conserve the electricity. Like, we should turn off lights when they are not needed, or unplugging, removing the cable from the source of the electricity, unplugging the electrical appliance when not in use. So we have to turn off the electrical devices when we are not using them. Here, imagine with us, if there is no electricity or there is no electric current around us, instead of using electric lamps, we are going to use candles. Is it good as a source of light? It's not as stable. It produces smoke. It can end. While it's burning, it produces very bad smells sometimes. So it's not good compared to the electrical lamps. And instead of writing here, like we are writing our booklet here, instead of writing on computer, we are going to use a pen or pencil and paper. So from the above examples, we conclude that electrical energy is very important in our lives and we should conserve it well. Conserve, keep it safe, or being aware while using them. Now, we all know that most of the electricity is generated from fossil fuel, which is non-renewable energy resource. Nowadays, most of the time we use them. But we are going to learn that this fossil fuel or these fossil fuels, they have many bad effects in big cities. Like the increase of people's needs and more people need more industrial and agriculture. Agriculture means planting. Activities cause pollution problems around the world. So we have two types of pollution or the effect of pollution on big cities and the effect of this pollution on the human's life. Let's start with the sources of pollution in big cities. Burning fuel producing smog. Smoke like this. This is the smog. Or this. This smog pollutes the air. And number 2, pesticides used on farms, which is made from fuel or petrol. These pesticides, they are chemicals. They use it to kill the insects. They use it to kill the insects in the farms. Okay, so these pesticides, they are made from fuel, okay, or from petrol. So farmers use them and mix them with water in canals and rivers. And when the rain falls, these lead to pollution of the soil and the water. Of course, it will damage the crops, the fruits that they are growing, and also pollute the water and change its structure. Okay, cause death of the living organisms that live there. And also using chemicals in factories, burning them, pollute the air and also the nearby water resources and soil. Here, like these factors, they are near water. This smoke will pollute the water, and this bad, can you see here? They are throwing their bad things that produced from the chemicals, or they're throwing their chemicals inside the water, polluting it, and causes the death of the animals that live there, like here in this picture, cause the death, okay? And also the soil that near this place. Not just like that, it also affect, or they have some bad effects or impacts. Impacts means effects on humans' health. This air pollution cause bad effects or bad impacts on the human's health. The smoke from cars causes irritation of humans' eye and lungs. Irritation, like make it itchy. You need to rub it. You need to rub your hand continuously. And also your lungs, keeping you a lot, or most of the time, have a cough. Okay, like doing this is the cough. Okay, so scientists, and also not just like that, scientists have found that smoke contains tiny particles that the human breathes in. These particles irritate the lungs, reach the lungs and irritate it, causing the damage of tissues of the respiratory system. So you have a note here, countries should make a greater effort to set laws to prevent high levels of smoke in big cities, or try to build the factories away from the city. One of the harms of burning the fossil fuel on the environment, when burning fuel not only pollutes the environment, burning fuel like coal and oil produces carbon dioxide gas. Any burning produces carbon dioxide gas. Like burning the food inside our body produces carbon dioxide gas. So what is the bad effect of this carbon dioxide if it increases in the air? It has some bad effects. First, global warming and cause acid rains. So let's start what's meant by global warming and what's meant by acid rain. Let's start with the global warming first. The carbon dioxide gas, this gas, from its characteristics, that it traps the heat inside it, keeps the heat inside it. This carbon dioxide gas traps the heat. So it's like the mug that we use it to keep the heat inside. If you want to drink a hot tea in the morning, but you are going to use it after time. So this mug, you are going to pour your tea inside it and use it after a long time. So the same like this carbon dioxide, it traps the heat inside it. So it causes slow rise in the Earth's temperature year by year. The slow rise in the Earth's temperature, we call it global warming. Global means world. Global means world. That's why in Egypt we were still wearing light clothes or some as if we are in summer till November. Although, however, the November should be winter and should be cold, but it was hot, the weather was too hot at that moment because of the global warming. Because nowadays we burn a lot of fossil fuel, we burn a lot of oil to ride our private cars every day. So while burning more fuel, producing more carbon dioxide, this carbon dioxide, when it increases its amount, it will cause rise in the Earth's temperature and causes what? A phenomenon called global warming. Not just the global warming, it causes acid rains. What's meant by acid? Acid means like the lemon. The lemon is acid. Or the vinegar. You know the vinegar? You know the vinegar? It's acid. That's the acid. Okay? We call the vinegar and the lemon and the chemicals similar to them, we call them acid. So imagine that the rain is acid, made of acid. It's raining vinegar, or it's raining lemon. The same, but here the acid is not vinegar or lemon. Here the carbon dioxide gas, when it combines with water, it forms an acid called carbonic acid. Again, called carbonic acid. This carbonic acid has very bad effects. This acid, when it falls with rain, while carbon dioxide increases in the air, combine and mix with the water, forming the acid rains. This causes death of trees, decomposition and dissolving some rocks, including the bricks of the building. Did you see the building when you are moving while riding your car on the sea, while driving the car near to the sea? You will see the buildings that the rocks are dissolved. These rocks of the buildings are dissolved. The same the acid rain will cause to the building. Here the acid rain cause decomposition, separating of the rocks, removing the rocks from and the bricks, eating it from the buildings. Not just like that, chemical change in the structure of lakes here causes the death of the fish that live there. And also chemical change in the structure of the soil causes the death of the trees there. So how do we reduce acid rains and the global warming? The best solution to reduce acid rains and the global warming to rationalize, decrease the use of energy, where as we reduce combustion of fossil fuel, the amount of burning fossil fuel decreased. Now the amount of carbon dioxide also will be decreased. So the pollution decreases. Decreasing the use of energy not only reduces pollution, but it also conserves non-renewable fossil fuels and keeps the Earth planet clean. Here we have some methods of conserving fossil fuel, like walking or using bicycles instead of driving a car. That's a method or a way. Methods means ways. Turn off the lights when you are not in the room, or replacing fossil fuels with renewable energy resources such as solar energy, hydroelectric energy, and wind energy. But there's something you have to know. Although using the renewable energy resources instead of fossil fuels means that renewable energy resources will not run out. It's true, but using renewable energy resources are much more expensive than using fossil fuels. Like buying the solar panels, they are very expensive. So that's why we didn't use them daily like we use the fossil fuel, because it's much cheaper. This is the end of concept 2. See you in next concept 3.